Okay, let's take a look at how the garden is doing. If you look down this row here, it's in pretty bad shape. We haven't been on the property in the last few days. We've been helping our niece put together a deck, and we've neglected our garden for a few days. So today what we're going to try to do is get back on here and till it and see if we can get back ahead of it. I think we need to till it and to hoe it. Also, we will need to harvest some of its vegetables, fruits of our labor, and we will also need to tie up some of our tomatoes. See, if you take a look here, this will need some tying up. This needs some tying up here. So we'll need to do a few things today to get back ahead of this garden. The garden is still in absolute good shape. Take a look here. We left extra twine here for this reason. As the tomatoes grow and as the season progresses, we can come right back in here and tie them up and make adjustments in here. These Romas here are bushing out quite nice, and we've got some continuations of the Romas here in the bush setting. So we got weeds here. We got weeds. They're not quite taking over, but once we get to hoeing and tilling, we'll be able to do pretty good. Here's a tiller. It is a DR tiller. 21 cc. I'm not quite sure what that equates to horsepower. It works and does well. One of the things, drawbacks, I think it's just too narrow on the back here. Now that I think it's too narrow, guess what? It works in these narrow rows. But when you're tilling it up for the first time in the season, you really like a much wider space for your tines. We've had these come off zucchini and squash this morning. I think next year what I'll do is plant these zucchini and squash maybe 9 feet on center, so I have plenty of space to cultivate in between. And as soon as I say that, if you take a look at this, the middle of that row is about here, but you got a canopy of leaves cascading over this row here. But if you look down in there, you don't have very many weeds going under there. So you know, one thing you're not able to get in between and pick. Another thing is that you want to control your weed growth. So what do? So let me get back and let me go ahead and see if we can get ahead of this and come back and show you the results in a few minutes. Okay, we're going to follow up on our garden. First part of this video talked about how we kind of lost control of it a little bit. We were working on a project with our family member, working on a deck, and it took a couple of days away from the garden and the property. So yesterday we worked really hard to get back on track with our garden, and it looks pretty good. I don't know if you can remember or not, we had a couple long rangers of corn here. We dug those long rangers up and placed over here with the existing row. I think next week we're going to plant another row of corn here, so we could stay in a couple of rows, but we just didn't want to overdo it. Our potatoes are looking really nice. One of the things that we were fearful of, because we got a late start, we really worked hard on planning this out, and we really forgot our potatoes. And you all probably know that it takes 2, maybe 4 weeks minimum to prepare your potatoes for growing. And you got to have your eyes or chits. Hopefully I had the right terminology or way you pronounce it. I hope that's correct. Then you have to have a scan or a hardening of the external part of the potato that you cut to separate the eyes or the chits so that you can plant those up. So we did not have those potatoes prepared, but we planted those anyway. And thank God we didn't have a lot of rain, because I was told if you don't have skin on your potatoes, hardened membrane or skin on your potatoes, and you plant those, they're liable to rot in the ground that you plant them in. If you do not have a lot of rain, you stand a chance of surviving. And these potatoes done pretty good. They're going pretty good. We got them mound up pretty good. Our sweet potatoes are doing pretty, they're starting to vine out pretty good too. This is the first year that we have successfully gotten our potatoes in place, and the first year that we have planted sweet potatoes. We have not had a successful harvest of potatoes. We've had a really dismal harvest of potatoes in the past, but not a really robust harvest. But we're looking forward to a really robust harvest this year. Now, I want to mention this, that this section of our garden is low in pH, but 4.5, 5.5. We understand that onions and sweet potatoes and a number of other vegetables grow really good in low pH. Over here, low pH. This whole area, low pH. But over the years, we have managed to raise the pH in the major part of our garden. Our pH here is right spot on at 7. It's really at a really good spot. That's why our garden these greens here look as they do. And these tomatoes are doing like they're doing. But we're doing pretty good. So this is my most recent update. Our po beans are growing like crazy. We have tied our tomatoes up. They're tied up pretty good. Let's see here. There's one here that's really tall and doing pretty good. Let's look in our squash and zucchini, see what they look like, see what we're gonna harvest in there. Sorry about that. Look good. Okay, that's the most recent update. We're on top of things. Let me go back and mention before we close out our bush beans. Right here we have most recent plantings, and they're 2 or 3 weeks after the ones at the end of the row. So we should have beans starting over po beans first, then this section of our bush beans, and then here we should have beans to add to our soup starters throughout the course of the year, throughout the growing season. There's a zucchini down there that I think I will pick. All right, we'll talk to you later.